Welcome to Sneak at the Movies, the program that shows you how to sneak across from one movie to another. Across the aisle from me is Roger Rogers, film critic for the New York Fun Times.
And this is Gene Simple, film critic for the New York Tribune.
On today's program, we'll be reviewing the Criterion Theater on Times Square, the 13th Street Quad, the Embassy Theater on 47th Street, and our Roger begins with the 83rd Street Quad.
Gene, this Manhattan Theater is a four-screen complex located on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. The reason why we don't have an exterior shot of the 83rd Street Quad is that I live in the neighborhood, and I just don't want the owners of the theater to recognize my face too much, because I do plan to sneak across in this movie many more times in the future. The 83rd Street Quad, as illustrated here, is made up this way. The entrance being down here. Now there are two stairways leading up to two movie screens on the upper level. On the lower level, there are also two movie screens which are separated by a candy stand and two video game machines. Basic kind of setup for a four-screen quad. This theater has the usual one usher per screen setup, but these ushers are more window dressing than security. They're not a problem at all. In fact, they don't even check the ticket stubs, which makes this a very easy theater to sneak across in. I liked it a whole lot.
I agree, totally. I haven't had a problem either. It's good because it runs top-notch movies, and now it has the capability of 70mm screening. I guess it's just the icing on the cake. We're here to judge whether or not it's easy to sneak. And yes, it is. It's very easy. I like it.
Very easy theater to sneak across in, especially if you're the beginner who wants to learn how to sneak across in. Definitely a very high-rated movie.
That's right. I think it's absolutely perfect, and it's a 4-star movie. I like that a whole lot, yes. And it's probably going to make my 10 best at the end of the year.
Definitely. Mine too.
Good. So we both recommend it.
Okay.
I can't wait until it becomes a 6-plex. Our next theater is the Criterion Theater at the downstairs section. This theater is located in the Times Square area. Now for the setup for the Criterion. As you descend the stairs here, you arrive at the entrance, and you walk across the lobby here, and you come up to this short hall here, and two of the theaters are at the end of the hall. The other two theaters are here, and this velvet strand here, which is imitation velvet by the way, it creates a small hallway here, and then this hallway here is divided so that you have to go into the right ones. Now the usher is here checking your stubs and directing you to the proper theaters. I think the best way to do it here is to go in with the crowd, and you have to look confident. That's the thing. And if they catch you anyway, then you have to say that you went to the bathroom and then you lost your stub. And basically that's the way to do it. As you can see, the Criterion is a little harder to sneak across than the previous theater, but I enjoyed the adventure. And I still thought it was easy enough. I liked it, and I recommend it.
Well, I don't like it, Gene, for the basic reason that there's a small cluster of ushers right in that central area where you have to sneak across in. I just find it a little too hard to get past them. Plus, that velvet strand makes it impossible to sneak across in. Downstairs, the screens are very bad, they're very small, and the sound, the sound is terrible down there.
Well, I think you're just mentioning the sound of the screens because you can't sneak across, but that's not what we're here to judge. We're here to judge whether or not you can sneak, and I think that's possible if done properly.
Well, I'm sorry, but it's just a little too risky for me, and I just can't recommend this theater.
Well, the reason why you can't recommend it is because you're too fat. You're an easy target.
What about you? You're so nervous about sneaking across that you're beginning to slur your words. Harder, star, Roger.
Well,
you can't even speak right.
I think you might be more successful if you would start concentrating a little bit more on sneaking across and a little bit less on the candy stand.
And I think that you're going to be completely bald by the end of the year. Our next theater is downtown on 13th Street. This is the 13th Street Quad. This is the layout for the 13th Street Quad. Over here is the entrance. And as you walk across this corridor into the lobby, there's a bench for you to wait at until the movie starts. Over at this end, you have the men's room and the women's room. And next to that is the candy stand, which makes for a very basic setting for this type of theater. Now down this corridor are the 4 screens which are inside the movie theater itself. There is an usher here who tears your stubs, but sometimes, if it's busy, there will be an usher here to tear your stub. Now, my problem is that there's no way of knowing where the usher is going to be. So what I do is I buy a ticket for the first movie, the usher tears it, then I go into the movie theater. After that's finished, I just come out here, wait around, and then when the crowd goes in for the second movie, I just blend in with the crowd, and then I see the second movie. Now, this theater requires a certain amount of skill, but once you've mastered the technique, this becomes a very good theater to sneak across in, because then it becomes easy, and this theater is a good theater because it shows also top-notch movies.
I agree with you. I like the theater, but I disagree with your technique of sneaking across. I think the best way to do it is to buy the ticket for the second movie first, because it's always easier to go with the crowd the second time around, because the ushers don't know your face.
Well, Gene, I disagree with that.
You okay?
Yeah. I'm okay.
Stop that shifting.
I want to make sure that I'm going to see the movie that I paid to see, the first movie. So that's why I sneak into the first one. Then after that's over, I just wait around until it's showtime for the second theater, and then I blend in with the crowd, and then I just walk into the theater. It's that easy for me.
But you're not going to get caught if you do it the right way. If you sneak across right.
That's right, but I believe my way is the right way.
Well, I think your way is way too risky.
But I've never been caught doing it my way.
Well, I think your way is way too risky. And I would not recommend that way.
Yeah, but I've never been caught doing it my way.
Well, obviously we disagree, right?
No. We agree on the movie theater. It's a good movie theater. We just disagree on the technique.
Oh, disagreement then.
That's right.
That's right, okay.
That's right. It's Stuffy the dog to tell us about this week's worst movie theater, the dog of the week. This week, it's the Embassy on 47th Street.
The Embassy Theater on 47th Street is the dog of the week, and this theater is absolutely awful.
y'all making a movie?
Hi, can you tell me what movies are playing here? Thanks. The managers at the yeah, we have to get the shot. You know.
This is the setup here for the Embassy Theater, and you'll see why we hate it so much. Okay, these are the stairs that you have to climb to go up to the theater. Then as you arrive here, there's always an usher who always checks your stuff and always directs you to the theaters, which are here, one on each side. Now, each side has its own set of bathrooms, so you can't make the excuse that you want to go to the bathroom to then come back and go somewhere to the other theater. And what makes it really impossible is that there's this metal barrier right here dividing everything, including the candy stand. So even though it's the same person at the candy stand, you still can't buy your stuff here on this side so that you can go to this theater. You gotta buy it on this side. So this theater is impossible to sneak. Definitely a dog. Now, I don't know why they bother making these theaters. I think they're just awful. They're cruel. And you know what? I think the people who make these theaters hate women.
How's that, Gene?
I don't know. I'll think of something.
Okay, so much for the dog theater of the week. Now for a recap of this week's movies. Both Gene and I agree on the Lowe's 83rd Street Quad. It's a very easy theater to sneak across in and shows good movies. We vote thumbs up. We disagree, however, on the Criterion Theater, the downstairs section located in Times Square. Gene found it easy to sneak across in, while I found it a little too risky. We agree on the 13th Street Quad, but we disagree on the technique. What Gene likes to do is buy a ticket for the second movie and sneak into the first, while I want to make sure that I see my first choice movie, then I sneak into the second. And finally, we agree on the Embassy on 47th Street. It's a tough theater to sneak across in, and is in fact a waste of time. We both hated it, and needless to say, we vote thumbs down.
Next week on Sneak at the Movies, special show on our guilty pleasures. Until then, we'll see you sneak at the movies.
Coming up next, an expose on the dangers of sneaking across at the movies from Clean and Neat.